3 viewers. Ooh. When can they hear us? After the 30? They can hear us like after this 30-second countdown? Or can they hear us now? Okay, cool. Cool. Okay.
Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Weekly Weekender. Woo! Happy 2020.
We back.
We back. We ready for this. we ready for 2020, guys. It's been a freaking awesome end of 2019. A lot of great films have come out. A lot of fantastic news to talk about this week. We're ready to give you the wrap up for the biggest stories in Hollywood, the biggest movie news this week in Weekly Weekender. And I'm joined, of course, by the one, the only, the sexy and fabulous, Mr. Lawrence Hamber.
Thank you, DJ. It's so good to be here. So good to be with you guys. Thank you for joining us today.
Whew. Man, well, before we start anything here, we have to, of course, show out some love, give some shout outs to our sponsors, the lovely people at Panasonic offering us the electric buzz.
Love the buzz. Is Grandpa pissing you off? Is Grandma pissing you off? Give him a buzz.
Give him a buzz with a Panasonic electric buzz. That's consumer-grade elderly care from the wonderful people at Panasonic. And with that out of the way, guys, let's start with our first topic of the week. Goldman vs. Silverman, a short film from the Safdie brothers. So for those of you who don't know, or who might know, who the Safdie brothers are, they are the brothers who had their directorial debut, blow-out-the-water film, Uncut Gems, starring Adam Sandler, which of course was snubbed for the Oscars. But if you want to get a little bit of a taste and not sail the high pirate seas by pirating Uncut Gems, you can watch the 6-minute short film. I had a chance to watch it. It's cool. It kind of gives you a flavor of like what to expect from Uncut Gems in terms of like the cinematography and the tone, but that's it. So, but it's a short little thing I thought I'd mention for all of you out there. Yeah. Lawrence, I know you haven't seen...
Yeah. No, I was going to actually ask you, what did you think of the trailer versus the film itself? Because I was not able to see the film, unfortunately. Looked interesting, but I wasn't able to see it.
For Uncut Gems?
Yeah. How do you think it relates to the film? Was it good?
Loved it, man. And it's really weird because I feel like Uncut Gems is kind of doing like what the fandom menace is happening with Star Wars right now. Like, audiences seem really split on the performance and also like their impression of the film. That either loved it or thought it was okay, or like thought it was brilliant masterpiece, which I thought it was, and I was engaged with the trailer from the beginning.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So we just starting it light, but let's kick it up into high gear now because this topic, man, it's gonna be following our previous topics regarding Star Wars. And that has to do with...
Oh, I know where we're going.
That has to do with Taika Waititi, the brilliant Kiwi. Good. Oh my God. He's being courted to do a Star Wars movie. Now this...
I hope this happens.
Oh, yeah? Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, tell me why, first of all. Why?
I just think there are people out there that understand Star Wars, and there's people that do not understand Star Wars that have made Star Wars films. Mm-hmm. I just feel like... Seeing as to what he's done before, seeing to his, I guess, his track record of filmmaking, I get a sense that he will fit well. I really liked I like what he did with Ragnarok. I didn't get a chance, unfortunately, to see Jojo Rabbit. I really wanted to, but it wasn't showing here.
Wow.
I know. I'm so upset. I really want to watch it once I get a chance.
I don't mean to interrupt, but because this film has been nominated for the Oscars, and because it's such an award contender, it's having a re-release in film. So check out your local AMC.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I hate that it wasn't just fully released. Like, I feel like it's a good enough movie, and it's like, it's nominated for all this stuff. But just fully release it.
I know.
I hate when they do that, but I definitely still want to see it. I'll find a way to check it out. But yeah, anyways, I just like what he's done. I really liked him as IG-88. It's just, I don't know. I have a good feeling about it. I mean, there's no solid you're never gonna know for sure. You know, at the end of the day, it might not be good, but I trust him honestly. The same way I trust John Favreau.
Yes.
He did such a fucking good job with Mandalorian. I have to really commend him. He did such a good job, and like I just have high hopes.
Yeah,
Like I
man.
said, there's people you trust and there's people you don't. You know,
Yeah,
I have
absolutely.
good feeling. I get good vibes. So that's all.
I'm catching the good vibrations on this too.
Yeah.
I did want to detail what the Hollywood Reporter is reporting on this topic. Read over the article. For those of you who have not heard, and you might be driving in your car or listening to us at work, here's what the Hollywood Reporter has to say about this topic. Will the Force be strong with this one?
Yeah, I saw that.
Following the recent installment, Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, the space fantasy franchise is set to go on pause in terms of theatrical movies. But that does not mean the process has ground to a halt. Taika Waititi, the filmmaker behind Oscar-nominated Jojo Rabbit and Thor Ragnarok, has been approached to develop a Star Wars movie, sources tell The Hollywood Reporter. So it's unclear where things stand in those talks. It's also unclear whether the project is separate from the one being developed by Kevin Feige, with whom he closely worked on Ragnarok. And also, did he also work with Kevin? No, he didn't work with Kevin Feige on Mandalorian. So no, but he worked with Kevin Feige closely on Ragnarok. Disney and Lucasfilm, producers of the Star Wars movies, have no comment about that specifically. But, you know, to kind of piggyback off what you said, Lawrence, I loved what he did in Thor Ragnarok. I loved what he did with his his debut film, What We Do in the Shadows. Jojo Rabbit is definitely one of the top 3 films I saw last year.
Yeah.
And what he did with The Mandalorian in the season finale, it's just like, dude, like you said, some people are groomed to be Star Wars spearheading producers. What's that?
Yeah, they just get it. Like they just get Star Wars, you know? Like they grew up with it. They must have. Like something like that. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It's in their blood. Like they just get it, you know?
And you know what? And it's not only also that they just get it, but it's also that they have the capability to,
And the passion, I think, the passion for Star Wars. Whereas other people, I think some of them might be, we need you for this. Can you do this for us? We'll pay you. And they're like, okay, well, I'll take, you know, I don't know if it's money or what. I'm sure Disney offers a good paycheck.
right.
But I don't know what it is. But there's definitely some directors that have done films and they're just like, you don't feel like there's the passion there should be in it. That's all. You know?
There's that. You know, he has the passion, he gets it. But I think most importantly, he has the ability to conceptualize his ideas from his brain to a screenplay. And then finally into production. He's able to streamline that whole process seemingly effortlessly, and really stick the landing with everything he's done so far. And it's
Sorry.
It's just such a pleasure to see somebody who has this kind of track record, not only with his own personal films, but as we've seen him do in Mandalorian and with Thor Ragnarok, properties that are not his own, and bring us big blockbusters with heavyweight comedy ideas and tone. It just makes me like, it puts a smile on my face to know that he's being picked for this.
I mean, we have to also remember that he hasn't done anything Star Wars related, so we could totally be wrong. You know, it's hard to say. I'm thinking about it right now. And
except Mandalorian.
Yeah, right. No, he did do that. Yeah, and I mean, he did a good job. But it's not. It's kind of a small thing. Although I thought the episodes were great.
Right.
I still have high hopes, but I'm just saying, like, we don't have concrete evidence. We have just a little bit, you know.
It's just like you're right, and I mean,
what we've seen so far is good. So.
Right. And I think to kind of piggyback on what you're saying, I think the issue being present with what you're saying, I have complete faith in Taika Waititi. I think where the issue might come to the forefront is studios getting involved in the creative process and inhibiting him from doing and envisioning what his vision is for this project. And I mean, well, we know what happened with J.J. Abrams and The Rise of Skywalker. Most especially, I don't know if you've heard, but the big news last week was that the original script for Episode 9 was leaked to a very specific few Hollywood insiders. It was called Episode 9, The Duel of the Fates, which was written by Colin Trevorrow, who did the Jurassic World films.
Yeah.
That script, man, if you haven't heard about it, it's a complete 180 degree departure from what J.J. Abrams did. It made complete narrative sense. And obviously, Kathleen Kennedy or Bob Iger or whoever like the chief executives are decided, you know what, we're going to get involved in the creative process here. We're not going to allow this to happen. We're going to get JJ to do what we want to do, all this fan service crap that ended up being the episode 9 we got. So, to that point,
Of course.
yeah, that very well could happen with Taika, but I'm hoping they don't, because we see you leave Jon Favreau, you leave Taika alone, let them do what they wanted to do on Mandalorian.
Feige's going to be in there now too, right?
Yes,
Feige. At least for the films. I don't know if he's part of the show.
The films, for sure, yeah. He's been picked by Kathleen Kennedy,
which I think is
to
great.
have a producer role in some forthcoming trilogy.
Right, which I think is a great move. So I'm excited for that.
Right. Ooh, ooh. All right. Well, hey guys, let's move on to our next topic here. Yeah, let's do this. Apple is to release The Banker in theaters this March. Now, if you guys have not heard, Apple does have their own streaming service.
I know, right? In case you guys don't know.
Yeah, you know, alongside Walmart streaming service, CVS streaming service, Burger King streaming service, all the others. You know, I think it's called Burger King Plus. You can catch it.
You got the McDonald's kids menu streaming service.
But Apple does have their own streaming service, and apparently they have a film division. And they had their first feature film that was to be released, but was postponed due to the fact that one of the executive producers of this film had some sexual assault allegations to him. So Apple wanted to remove themselves from the project temporarily, assess the situation before pushing this film for a wide release. So let me start off first with what Variety is reporting to us on this topic. Following an extensive review period, Apple will release one of its first ever original films, The Banker, in theaters this March. Quote, "We created Apple TV Plus as a home for stories that matter and believe The Banker, inspired by the brave actions of Bernard Garrett Sr. and Joe Morris, two African-American businessmen who brought about positive social change, is one of those stories," unquote. A spokesperson for the tech company's content arm in Apple TV Plus has just told Variety this. So, the film was delayed from a planned January release after a family member of one of the men represented in the film came forth with accusations of abuse at the hands of one of the film's executive producers, who is also a family member. So, that's basically all Variety has told us. What the accusations were specifically, they don't detail.
I figured.
But, you know, I think I'm going to give you my thoughts on this topic here, and Lawrence, I want to hear what your thoughts are as well. I think it was wise for Apple to say, hey, you know what? Hold on, let's just pump the brakes here. Let's find out what the hell we're dealing with first of all, and then we'll release it. So I think it's great because, first of all, and you know me, I'm no social justice warrior, so cancel culture I absolutely hate. So this is not that. This is Apple saying, let's take a pause. Let's find out what's going on.
I think they kind of had to, too. I think they kind of have to in this scenario. What are you going to do? Like, do homework, it's a situation this serious?
Yeah, it's the logical thing. I think just take a pause, take a breath before you make any decision. So that's what Apple did. And to their credit, they did that. They assessed the situation and decided that, the actions of this one specific producer does not outweigh the merits of all the people working on the production of this film, and also the story of social empowerment this film has to offer audiences. So, Lawrence, your thoughts on this, man?
No, like I said earlier, I mean, I think this is the right thing to do. I mean, it sucks because Apple TV, I think, needs as much time in the spotlight as it can get right now. But, I think Apple, like, as much as it's delayed, you gotta do your homework. And in a situation this, how do you say, this frail, you got to make sure things are done correctly. So I think they did the right thing. It sucks that it's delayed because, it looks good. Hopefully Apple needs it too. Lord knows Apple needs it. They need a hit, like real bad.
Yeah.
Like I see some of their stuff and I'm just like, oh, it's on Apple TV. Oh, never.
Yeah, I think I'll watch Burger King Plus first,
exactly. So, I mean, they really need it, but, what can you do? I'm sure they don't want to delay this, but they
Yeah.
You gotta do your homework. This is a serious stuff. It could turn into a bigger issue. So
Right.
I think they did the right thing.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Yep. Exactly.
All right. Well, hey guys, listen. Before we move into our sponsors, I want to let you know. Cast the lovely people at Panasonic offering us the electric buzz. Take it away, Lawrence.
Grandma and Grandpa, are they giving you a lot of trouble? Are they annoying? Are you just, come on, Gam, not now.
God damn it, Gam.
Did you? What have you done now, Grandpa? Give him a buzz.
Oh,
Give him a buzz. It'll put him right to bed.
Not the electric buzz, son. I love you.
I love some elderly buzz.
So, thank you to our sponsors, Panasonic, for offering the consumer-grade elderly care electric buzz. I sounds like I got buzz myself. The electric buzz from Panasonic. And
Thanks, Panasonic.
Thank you, guys. And with that out of the way, guys, let's move on forward to our next topic. And this is regarding NBCU's newest streaming service. God, how many streaming services are we going to have now?
I know. I saw that. I was like, come on.
It's called...
It's like streaming service number 15,000. Like...
Yeah, man. Geez, wow. Okay, so much to talk about on this topic. Yeah. But it's called Peacock. Peacock.
Bless
wow.
you.
Yeah. Jeez, I think I'm choking on some Peacock here. NBCU's Peacock is announcing their pricing and their launch dates. So this is coming to us from Variety and IndieWire. NBC Universal pulled back the curtain on Peacock, the company's upcoming streaming service. So guys, when does Peacock launch? Well, Peacock will launch on April 15th for Comcast, Xfinity, and Flex customers, and will have a national... It will launch on... I'm still being buzzed by the electric buzz, by the way.
Yeah, the electric buzz getting you.
It's going to be launched for the Comcast, Xfinity, and Flex customers on April 15th, and then we'll have a national release on July 15th, and then an international date, which is very surprising, actually, has yet to be announced. So... there are a couple pricing tiers I do want to cover here. So let's start with those. The first is Peacock Free. They're giving away free cock, guys. So if you want some free cock...
Damn. How can you resist?
How can you resist some free cock,
the gift
guys?
that keeps on giving.
It's the gift that keeps on giving. Yep. Shrinkage rates may not apply, but...
My God.
Ooh. So yeah, that's the first. It's Peacock Free. Free cock. The second...
Yes.
Peacock Premium will cost $4.99 per month. Not too bad, but I mean, Disney Plus is going around, I think, $6.99 right now, so... You better have some god dang good content.
There's some hefty competition in the streaming service right now.
It's getting too much, man. And I want to talk to you about this specifically, this Peacock service in relation to this. But let me finish this Variety article here. The last of the subscription tiers is going to be called Peacock Premium. Oh. What a surprise. PP, in fact, if you want to abbreviate it. So, again, with the...
That's a great abbreviation. That's going to go over real well.
If you guys want some PP, it's going to be $9.99 per month. But you will have discounted PP for $4.99 a month if you already have the aforementioned Comcast and Cox cable bundle. Now, a couple more things I want to cover, guys. What's going to be on here? And in fact, will it have advertisements? First of all, yes, Peacock Free. The free cock is going to have advertisements, which I think is really cool because in this whole landscape of subscription services everywhere for everything, it makes sense. Hey, give us a free, cool streaming service to license content that we actually want to see, but make it ad-supported. I think that's a very smart way to break into this. And that's the only way I'm actually going to watch any content on here, personally.
Yeah.
But I do think it's actually really cool in terms of what they're developing, because they are developing original content. Newly announced Peacock originals include, quote, Heart to Heart, and that's a play on words, a pun, if you will, an interview series starring Kevin Hart, and then Girls 5 Eva. This is a produced comedy about a 90s pop girl group produced by Tina Fey. So cool. Tina Fey, fantastic NBC alum for 30 Rock. Great.
Yeah.
The Capture, a drama thriller. That's pretty vague. The comedy, Lady Parts. And then there's a bunch of other random stuff here. But I think what's really cool here is apparently originals. And I don't know what this means exactly, but they say originals included Battlestar Galactica.
Oh.
Brave New World. Whoa, that's cool. So, I'm thinking if Brave New World, which is obviously an IP that has not had an adaptation on screen yet, it's completely original material. I'm inclined to think that Battlestar Galactica will either be a continuation of the series, the second iteration of the series, or a brand new reboot.
That'd be nice. That'd be like what they did with Star Trek, where Star Trek, had its old shows and now they're kind of rebooting them, bringing back the good stuff. I think that has a nice how do you say, like a nice group of like people that are looking for that nostalgia feel, because I know Battlestar Galactica is very popular.
Right.
So,
and then lastly, guys, all of the Universal feature films by Universal Studios will be on this service. Now, to what degree you can access these films, I think depends on which subscription level you have. But it's still cool to know, in a way, if you want Universal Pictures content, Peacock is where you got to go to get it.
Gotta get the pee-pee.
Gotta get with the PP. But I mean, Lawrence, I've said quite a spell here. What are your thoughts about this Peacock streaming service by NBC Universal in itself, and then also in relation to this whole landscape of a plethora of streaming services?
It's too early to tell. I mean, some of that stuff that was mentioned sounds promising, but you're not going to know until it launches. I mean, especially with Disney Plus coming out so recently, and so I feel like it came very late into the streaming service era, but it did make an impact. I think it's really offering a lot of good content for a really low price. I think it's very worth it right now, Disney Plus. Yeah. Me myself, I use mostly Disney Plus and Netflix. Yep. Netflix every now and then does have good things up on offer. So there's a lot of garbage there, but there's also a lot of good stuff up on offer every now and then. Mm-hmm. So they make it definitely worth your while. This landscape right now is there's so many platforms that are like out there and that are going to continue to be coming out there. It must be incredibly profitable because everybody wants a piece of this pie. So they wouldn't be if it wasn't, So I'm sure they're going to find good stuff to make this worthwhile. Hopefully they don't end up like Apple TV or Burger King Plus or whatever, other streaming service. Right. So, I wish them good luck. That name could use a change, but what can you do at this point?
Yeah. Yeah. Shit, man. I have to agree with you. Let's see what they have to offer. I'm down for some free talk anyway. So who isn't, right? It's
my favorite. Yeah. Especially on the weekend. Yeah.
Especially on the weekend. All right, guys, with that out of the way, let's move into our next topic here. And this is coming to us from Collider, the most recently defunct movie review news website. Apparently, it still has a media division for news. And it's telling us that Quentin Tarantino is giving us an update on Star Trek. Now, this comes
This is kind of heartbreaking. I read this,
yeah. But you know what? Okay, well, let me see what Collider says about this here. So coming to us from Collider, guys. Well, it turns out we may not get to see Quentin Tarantino's Star Trek movie after all. In December 2017, it was revealed that Tarantino had pitched an original idea for a Star Trek film to producer J.J. Abrams, and the two were officially developing that idea into a potential movie that Tarantino might direct. They set Mark L. Smith, writer of The Revenant, to write a screenplay based on Tarantino's story while the filmmaker focused on making Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And he said that he'd circle back around to Trek once Hollywood was complete. Well, the circling appears to have happened and Tarantino has moved on, at least as a director. Speaking to Deadline, the Oscar winner said it's now unlikely that he'll direct the Star Trek movie, but he still hopes Paramount makes it. So, Lawrence, man, your heart's broken. My heart's broken. We're both Trekkies. I know that. What's your take on this, bro?
I'm pretty disappointed that he's not going to be a part of it, honestly. I'm sure you were as well. I think that would have been just great to see. It's such a nice mixing of ideas. His ideas on Trek. I don't even know I can't even picture what that would look like. It would be great to see, But I feel like what I got from this article is I feel like he has already had an impact on the film, where it's going.
Right.
And he is hopeful that his impact will remain in the final film. And it sounds like he was saying the final film, what the idea of the final film is sounding pretty good, and that he hopes that will be made. So I'm hoping that his essence is still within the film, and that is when it is finally made, you'll get to see kind of like his impact on it, and that we'll all enjoy it for what it is. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, I'm hoping for that too. This obviously is heartbreaking news, but it does not come as a surprise to me, because Tarantino, he's so famous, and just he has such notoriety for saying, "Oh, I want to develop this project, or I'm working on this project, or I might do this, I might do that, I might do a screenplay, I might do a TV show, I might do a Vega Brothers movies, this, that, and the other," and then they all just fall apart. So, while disappointing, it's not surprising. But like you said, I think it's great that he pitched an idea to producer J.J. Abrams. J.J. Abrams is totally on board. Paramount is on board. So as far as the idea, and Tarantino at least grafting part of his sci-fi DNA into the next project, which is now actually being directed and written by Noah Hawley, who is famous for doing Fargo, Lucy in the Sky, Legion on FX. So
nice.
I think if Noah Hawley is going to take this new idea, perhaps, but I don't even know actually if those work, because Noah Hawley actually is apparently trying to do a reboot of Trek with totally new characters. So where this whole thing falls into development process for a new Trek, I don't know. Actually, now that I'm speaking about this aloud, this might not even come to fruition, because Noah Hawley is confirmed director right now. He might be dropped. They might go back to this idea. I don't know. Yeah, it's disheartening, to say the least.
Do you does the article say specifically he will not return, like this is the end, period? I thought it said like as of right now he's not, but he may return. Correct me if I'm wrong.
He's definitely out as director, like 110% for sure. Screenwriter, that was never in play. Again, that was supposed to be handed off to, who was it? The writer for The Revenant. But he did say yes, that he would return for the first initial draft to give some tips and pointers.
Yeah, gotcha.
So,
okay.
Darn. Yeah. To what degree like that would have him involved in the project? Who knows, right?
Yeah.
So, oh man, Star Trek, man, it's just getting rammed up the butt with just lackluster news and development production news. So it's sad.
Hey, we got a message from Storm Shadow. He says he doesn't care for Star Trek very much.
Oh.
Hey, I mean, everyone's got their quirks, I think me and DJ, we both like Star Wars and Star Trek. Maybe you're not into sci-fi.
Hold up. Did you just say Storm Shadow is here?
Yeah, he's here.
Dude, Storm Shadow, what up, bro? I'm sorry, I can't see the managements. Did he super chat, or is it in the live chat?
No, it's just regular live chat, yeah.
Okay, all right. What did Storm Shadow say for us here?
He said, "Don't care for Star Trek." That's just me.
Don't care for Star Trek. Storm Shadow, man. Come on, bro.
Storm Shadow.
You're better than that, dude.
You're better.
No, I know.
Yeah, everyone's got their things. So
everyone's got their things. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, honestly, I could watch Star Trek, and it's just like Jean-Luc Picard on screen, headshot, and he's just doing a monologue for 40 minutes.
Dude, I'm so excited for the new one. I keep seeing trailers for it. I'm like, just release it.
Yeah.
It looks so good.
Yeah, hopefully, man. But I mean, what I'm saying though is, like, I could watch Jean-Luc Picard talk on screen.
I know, yeah.
Headshot for 40 minutes, and that's it. No action, no CGI, nothing. Not everyone's bag. Dude, so Storm Shadow, if it's not your thing, no worries, dude. We still have Star Trek. And hopefully you saw our discussion on that with Taika.
You can find something on Peepee that you might like.
Yeah, watch the Peepee.
I'm just kidding, Storm Shadow. We're just giving you shit. Thank you for leaving us a comment. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, Storm Shadow, thanks, man. I know you've been really active on the channel in terms of commenting on the YouTube and sometimes on the Instagram. We're not really active on Instagram, so it's nothing personal. But if you hit us up on YouTube, you'll definitely get those comments more frequently. But yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for joining for the live stream, bro.
He says he does like Star Trek 2009 with Chris Pine. I like that one as well. That was fantastic. I really like that one.
Yeah, likewise. I loved it too. It's not Star Trek, but that's probably why he liked it, because it wasn't Star Trek. So that was like a Star Trek on crack. Like PCP hyped up.
Star Crack?
Yes, yeah. Exactly. All right, guys. Well, with that topic out of the way, let's move on to our next subject here. Some more heartbreaking news. God, we're just breaking hearts today.
Yeah, I know.
Mindhunter cast released from contracts. Season 3 put on hold. Now.
Right.
Guys, if you have not seen Mindhunter, it's the David Fincher produced, brilliant FBI profile series on Netflix. It's awesome. One of those critically acclaimed TV shows you're kind of used to seeing on HBO in terms of level, production quality, and just overall quality and entertainment value in general. Well, sad to say, Variety is reporting to us that the project has been put on hold indefinitely. So, Variety says, Mindhunter is going on ice at Netflix. Variety has confirmed that the show's cast members have been released from their contracts. The streamer is not ruling out a third season of the series, however, depending on executive producer David Fincher's schedule. Now, David Fincher is currently working on directing the Netflix film Mank, as well as executive producing the second season of Love, Death, and Robots. So obviously he still has his hand pretty deep in Netflix's butt.
I was going to say cookie jar, but sure.
I had to go dirty, man. You know, we keep it sexy on MoviePOP.
You gotta go dirty.
It was also recently announced that Fincher is working on a Chinatown prequel series with Robert Towne, who wrote the original film. Now, Lawrence, what's your thoughts on this, dude? Because as I recall, I think you were a pretty big fan of the Mindhunter series.
I hate to say this, but I've actually not seen it. And it's one of the things on my list.
Really?
I have every intent to check it out. I've
swear
heard
we talk about it,
things.
man. Huh.
No, not unless I'm thinking of another show.
Okay.
No. And I know, and I've heard a lot of good things from a lot of different people. So
yeah.
I'm surprised that this is happening. Like, do you know what caused this? Like, why is this happening?
So what's happening, basically, and this is kind of weird, and this really frustrates me, because it's like, dude, like, if you're working, you have producers, you have executive level members of a production company, a studio.
Mm-hmm.
You're making hundreds of millions of dollars as a studio, individually, presumably hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars per year. So it would seem to me that you would have the level of understanding that if you're going to have some filmmaker as prolific as David Fincher attached to this project, that you would have a contingency plan for him to be on board, whether based if his schedule prevented him from being on the series, or have somebody else involved in the production to pick up where he left off if he can't commit to the schedule. And that's precisely what happened here. David Fincher, he's doing Love, Death, and Robots. He's working on his film Mank. He probably has some other projects outside of Netflix that he's working on, and he just doesn't have the time or the schedule to be involved anymore.
Right.
And because this was his brainchild, Netflix was like, well, we don't have any contingency plans or anybody else to kind of, to shepherd this project. I guess, hey guys, we're releasing you from your contracts, which causes whole other issues now, because now you have actors, everyone involved behind the camera being released from their contracts, signing on to other contracts or other projects, and trying to bring them back into the fold based off their other schedules now outside of Netflix. It causes a whole other issues. And it's like, man, come on, guys. Like, where's the foresight?
I just looked this up too. Mindhunter has a 97% on Rotten Tomatoes, 8.7 on IMDb. That's really good. That's really high.
Really good. I mean, have you seen David Fincher's films like Seven or The Game, Fight Club? Obviously, you've got the poster behind you.
Seven, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I mean,
favorites. Yeah.
If you love the Finch,
that's why I think I'd like it.
Yeah, you would. So that's probably what I thought. If we haven't obviously we haven't talked about it, then I think it was just me thinking, dude, I know you love Fight Club. You'd love this movie. Like,
it sounds like I'd be in that realm. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, Hopefully we got some better news coming up here.
Yeah, we need it.
Kind of. We're getting about halfway there. This is regarding the Oscars, 2020 Oscars. Some snubs and surprises. So, this is coming to us from Variety, guys. The 2020 Academy Awards nominations are out, and with a multitude of snubs and surprises. From all the women directors, shout out to Jennifer Lopez's Hustlers denial, to the Farewell's lack of acting, directing, and writing snubs. Here's our biggest snubs and surprises from the Oscars. So, a couple things I wanted to go over from the article here on Variety. Wow. Hustlers. I don't even know why that's even in the in the discussion.
Yeah.
Not an Oscar winner. What do you think, dude?
Agreed. Totally agree.
In any capacity.
Okay. Yeah, it was like okay. I was like, okay, this is like average.
Right.
Acceptable but average.
Acceptable but average. Yeah. But some standout movies and performances regarding The Farewell, I think, is surprising it wasn't nominated. Lupita Nyong'o for Us, Greta Gerwig for Little Women, Christian Bale for Ford v Ferrari, Adam Sandler for Uncut Gems, George McKay for 1917, which we are reviewing later today, guys, so stay tuned for that review coming out later this evening. Eddie Murphy for Dolomite My Name, Jamie Foxx for Just Mercy, Antonio Banderas, Pain and Glory, Jonathan Pryce, The Two Popes, Florence Pugh, Little Women, and also, I'm sad to say, I have to humble myself now. I thought I called Best Picture, Best Supporting Actor nomination Tom Hanks for A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, Marianne Heller directing this film. Nobody on the project nominated for any capacity at all, which is a complete freaking shock to me. So,
yeah. At least a nomination. I still haven't seen it, but I really want to. Really good things. So, but I could just tell, like, from the trailer, seems like Tom Hanks really put his heart and soul into that project.
Yeah, man. At least a nomination. You know, but damn.
That's a tough list, but I feel like, honestly, I can't speak until I watch the film, but I kind of agree with you. I would have suspected he would have made it. I would
have thunk, man. Ha! All right, well, let's get into some better news, because if Grandpappy is stinking up the house, farting, hooting, and hollering all Christmas, all year long, what do you got to do? Put him out of his misery. The wonderful people
give him the buzz.
at Panasonic are offering us the electric buzz. Give him a buzz.
Give him a buzz. Damn it, Grandpappy.
God.
Time for a buzz.
Time for a buzz, Grandpappy.
Yeah.
All right, moving on forward, guys, with our next topic. Disney is dropping the Fox, thank God, from 20th Century Fox and Searchlight Pictures. This is coming to us from the Hollywood Reporter. The labels will now be branded as Searchlight Pictures and 20th Century Studios upon future releases.
Oh.
Ooh. So, the Fox moniker has been dropped from the studio's 20th Century and Searchlight labels, which will now be branded as simply Searchlight Pictures and 20th Century Studios. I won't go into any further details. I will kind of give you an offhand description of what the article details. Exactly what I just said. So don't worry. It's a visual change. We're still going to have the awesome 20th Century Fox fanfare. You know, the bum bum, bum bum.
Yeah.
Bum, bum, da, 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 da. Yeah, classic, right? Yeah. Still going to be there, guys. We're just taking Rupert Murdoch's Fox's news branding out of the equation, which I think is a positive, if you ask me.
Yeah, honestly, I can't disagree.
Yeah, right? Get the Fox out of here.
Get the Fox out of here.
So, a little cool news. We're seeing the Disney consolidation with Fox having a little bit more of a front-forward visual change, which is cool. Cool. Moving on, though, with a related property that was formerly under the Fox Television brand name. Wow, the headline is incorrect here on the lower thirds. Sorry about that, guys. But what it should say, it's not talking about Harvey Weinstein. It's talking about Hank Azaria. And Hank Azaria will no longer voice Apu on The Simpsons. So, Lawrence, I'm going to let you take this away while I fix the graphic. What are your thoughts on this, bro?
Dude, this is crazy. This is like This is like taking Homer Simpson out of The Simpsons almost. I mean, I know he's a side character, but he's been part of it for so long, and he's iconic too. Like when you think of the Cookie Mart, it's Apu. I can't think of anyone who hasn't seen an episode of Simpsons and doesn't know who Apu is. Like
Thank
he's
you.
just
Come
super
again.
iconic. Yeah, like I would love. I mean, maybe he's replaceable. I mean, maybe it's not that like they'll replace him with someone who sounds identical, but it's just crazy to me that after all this time, it's yeah, I don't know. I can't. It's hard to believe, but like I said, maybe it's replaceable. There's a lot of talented people in Hollywood. They'll find, I'm sure, someone that can do a voice just as good as he can. So, but
Yeah.
still, it's like you're taking part of your original formula out. It's sad to see. Really,
Yeah.
that's what it comes down to.
Okay, guys. Well, coming to us from IndieWire, here is the official report. While no official statement from the series and its representatives has emerged so far, The Simpsons voice actor Hank Azaria has revealed in a new interview with Slash Film that he will no longer voice Apu. Now, what he said so far is that it's up to producers Matt Groening and James L. Brooks, but they haven't sorted it out yet. All we've agreed on is that I won't do the voice anymore. Also, in the article, we do see that Matt Groening has said that, what did he say exactly? Sorry. He said actually something very interesting, which I was surprised to see because of the nature of how this article was written. Matt Groening,
Yeah.
creator of The Simpsons, said, I'm proud of what we do on the show, and I think it's time for our culture where people love to pretend. I'm sorry. He says, I think it's a time in our culture where people love to pretend they're offended. So very interesting, because obviously he's not in agreement with the loudmouth social justice warriors who call bloody
Yeah.
hell for this. But he's
Right.
still having to kowtow to them either because of their pressure they're putting online or because studios' involvements in reaction to that said pressure. But I think it's interesting that he had that comment despite the obvious actions in contradiction to what he seemingly believes. Yeah.
I didn't realize that was like what caused it. I thought it was just like, well, he's just not part of this anymore. He's moving on. I didn't realize it was like we're just taking him out. So does that mean the character's gone too?
Well, see, that's the thing. The character's not gone as far as the article details. It's just that Hank Azaria won't be voicing him anymore. So
I'm just confused as to how this happened. Like what caused this and what is the reasoning?
the genesis of this, I believe, and think the people at AJ.com, which is a liberal left-wing news source that's also a sister website of Al Jazeera.com.
Yeah.
They had some, I think they either detailed this documentary by some Indian documentarian about something called like The Problem with Apu, and detailing how a lot of South Asian and Indian people felt like Apu was their only like what's the word, ethnically like representative character on television, and they felt like offended that he was being portrayed by a white man. But it's like, dude, sorry. First of all, there are more South Asian and Indian people on TV than freaking Apu. Secondly, it's a cartoon, dude. And thirdly, it's a comedy, so take it with a grain of salt, bro. Like,
He's right though. I like what he said. This is a time where they're trying their hardest to pretend to be offended of everything.
yeah.
Not saying people can't be offended when stuff is like serious, but like, oh my God, I feel like we're living in a time where stuff from even 10 years ago just won't fly anymore because people are just like, oh, I can be offended by that. Let me just act really offended.
Right.
It's like, dude, come on.
You know,
That's the time we live in.
dude, I want to quote the infamous Gabriel Lorca from Star Trek Discovery. And there's actually a line in that show I really liked, despite my problems with the show. But one of the lines he said was, context is king. And I think with comedy, especially, context is absolutely king. So because this is a comedy, it's tongue-in-cheek. You're gonna make fun of stereotypes. It's all hyperbole essentially for comedic value. Don't take this to heart, guys. It's a freaking cartoon. Like,
and they're not trying to offend people.
Exactly.
I mean, that's what really matters here. Like, they're just trying to have a good time, and they're just trying to. I think there's a big difference that people don't realize between. I mean, because we live in just such a time where this is so serious. there's a big difference between making fun of our cultural differences just because it's fun and we're all friendly versus being racist. Just
Right.
legitimately being like
Right.
prejudiced and racist because you're
Yeah.
because that's how I am. I think everyone is equal, and I think it's fun to make fun of how
Yeah.
we're all different from each other without being offensive.
Exactly.
That's how I view the world. But a lot of people can easily get offended by stuff like that. And it's like, come on, know the difference,
Know the difference. And context is king, guys. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, without that political rant and social issues out of the way here, let's move into our last topic of the day. And this is coming to us from IndieWire once more regarding the Watchmen series. Watchmen Season 2 is still in flux, and it always has been. Now, they're saying, Watchmen ended its brilliant, well-rated first season. Buzz has been building around a potential Season 2. Will we see more of Regina King's instant classic hero, Angela Abar? Or will we have to wait another 3 decades before an inspired creator revisits the iconic Watchmen world? Well, unfortunately, guys, I'll summarize the article here for you. Showrunner and writer Damon Lindelof, famous for writing and showrunning Lost and The Leftovers, has at the moment said he is definitively 100% done with the Watchmen series and has no plans to do a season 2 because he told a self-contained season 1 story that he wanted to tell, and he thinks he's done just that. Now, despite having said that, he's completely open to HBO taking the project, handing it off to another creative who wants to tell their story. But as far as his plans for the series moving forward, he has no intentions. And sadly with that, HBO executives are on board with Lindelof being attached to the project and don't see any way moving forward without him. So they say thus far, but things can change moving forward in the future. Lindelof might get inspired, get some more ideas. HBO might be approached by another creative who has a fantastic idea. And because this is such a critically acclaimed, awesome, breakthrough television show that made a lot of money for HBO, they might be inclined to go with someone else for the show. So the future can only tell. But Lawrence, I mean, what are your thoughts on this, bro?
That's crazy. So just to make sure I have this right, they made the first season and they're not going to make a season 2 even though it did so well?
That's it. It's a self-contained story. Yeah.
That's crazy. I'm shocked because I heard such good things. It's like making like The Witcher is I think that show was amazing. It's like saying, well, we're done. Season 1 is all you get. Sorry, no follow. I mean, granted that has a bigger overarching story.
Right.
Maybe this I haven't seen Watchmen, but
oh my god, bro, you need to watch that. No pun intended.
Yeah, is it on the same level? Yeah, is it on the same level as
Chernobyl?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, dude. Yeah, and especially now, you're gonna have an even better time viewing it because you can binge watch it. You know, I had to watch it week by week, so it was a slow burn for me. I'm like, what the hell is going on? But for you, you're going to get into those 9 episodes, and it's just going to be like constant development, building to like those last 2 episodes. Some of the best televisions like I've seen in the past 10 years for sure.
Wow.
Yeah. It's like at Westworld levels for sure.
That makes me even more sad, like, because when I watch it now, it's like, there's.
Yeah, but you know what? To their credit, I love the fact that HBO is sticking to their guns, sticking to quality, not pushing out crap. Yeah, I appreciate that. You know?
Yeah, they're not like, we'll make season 2 because it'll make us money.
Right.
No, in their eyes, it's like, we'll make season 2 because it makes sense and it's going to be a good show, which is, definitely commendable.
Yeah. Maybe we'll have the guys from Hellboy write it, you know?
Oh, God, Hellboy. Never-ending meme.
I had to bring it back.
Good old Hellboy. You know, it's been almost a year since we watched that shit show.
I know, right? And it's still left a bad taste in our mouths.
Oh, God.
Oh, Lordy. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Weekly Weekender. This is our weekly wrap-up for all the top stories in Hollywood and movie news. Remember, we're doing this live stream every Saturday, 11:30 a.m., and we're going to answer your questions live on air if you leave us a super chat. But, subscribe to the channel. Leave us a like if you like this video, you think it's informative. Remember, later today, me and Lawrence and I, are going to be reviewing Sam Mendes, 1917. So stay tuned later this evening for that. Lawrence, anything else you want to say to the fantastic
Yeah,
viewers here?
no, we really appreciate you guys stopping by. As DJ said, leave us some feedback. Let us know if you like the art, if you want something different, maybe specifically what you'd like to hear about. All that stuff really helps us a lot. We want to make sure that we're bringing stuff that you guys are interested in, because at the end of the day, we're doing this for you guys, making sure you guys are informed. Of course, as always, we really appreciate you guys stopping by. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff helps us so much. Of course, just watching our videos is all you really need to do at the end of the day, but that other stuff is a bonus. So, as always, thank you so much for stopping by, checking us out.